Hi everyone, this is Holly from Hot Humble Pie. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and a big warm hello to my subscribers. I love you guys. Well, today I decided to do some trash to treasure. It's been a while, and I'm actually doing real garbage, so it should be fun. And as always, I hope you enjoy the show. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you click that button. So this is a very, very tall whiskey bottle that one of my neighbors offered me, and I thought, yes, I'll take that. It's really heavy and thick, it's good quality, and it's huge. So I thought I could do something pretty with it, and bottles are always fun to work with. So I'm giving it a coat of my homemade white chalk paint. If you'd like the recipe, the video for that is down below in my description box. I give you several different options on what you can use for that. And after the paint is dry, I do have to do 2 coats, by the way. And after the paint is dry, I go ahead and I start taking my antique wax. Now you can use any antique wax for this. I'm using the one by Faux, but I'm just gently dry brushing it on. I'm taking my time just to give it a little bit of texture and dimension, and distress. That's the look I like. And then I went ahead and I printed this free printable up. This is from thegraphicsfairy.com. I will have the link down below in my description box. I found these gorgeous butterflies, and the butterflies in a row of 3 like that is just very in and hot right now. It was last summer too, so I thought it would be fun to add this to the bottle. So I'm just doing the old trick of taking the paintbrush, dipping it in water, and going around my little tissue paper and tearing the edges there. So for those of you that are wondering how I print on tissue paper, it is just gift tissue paper. I tape it on cardstock with regular masking tape and then just run it through my printer, and that's it. Well, right side up so that the print goes up on the tissue paper and not on the cardstock. And then I'm using a Dollar Tree glue stick. It worked brilliantly. I actually wasn't sure if that was going to work on a bottle. I don't think I've tried it on a bottle yet, and it worked great. No wrinkles, perfect adhesion. I went outside, gave this a little light mist spray of the clear lacquer just so the image didn't lift. Really light though. I just misted the front. And then I got this stamp from Amazon, and the jury is still out here. It's supposed to be that fake crackle effect, and I've been seeing, the IOD stamps, just different stamps of the crackle effect, and this got a 5-star review on Amazon. Everybody loved it. And I tried ink first. It didn't work. That's why it was stained a little bit at the top. So I'm just slapping some of the elephant gray from Apple Barrel paint on it to do it that way. And it definitely gives it texture. It definitely gives it dimension. It gives it a whole neat look. It comes up very beautiful. But when everything was said and done, I really, really want to hear from you in the comments to see what you think. But for those of you that have worked with crackle medium there, that's what you end up with right there. Crackle medium is where, or even just glue, you paint a dark color first, and then you put your glue on, let it dry till it's kind of tacky, and then you paint your white paint over it, and it dries with cracks all over. To me, that still looks more legit than the stamps. No matter how good the stamps are, even when they use ink, you just, at least in person, maybe on camera it looks like it's 3D, but in person it does not have that dimension. The cracks look real. It really looks like the bottle's actually old and cracking. Even tissue paper, I think, with glue, my Kleenex trick. Where I spray glue on it and water and it crinkles up, I think that may have even looked more, or even the trick I used to make the birchwood, my first trick I showed you guys in that video, DIY Easy Birchwood, I feel like that would have done more legitimate cracks. So this is a pretty look. It's just not the same look that you get with the actual crackle effector glue. This is actually my husband's favorite DIY today in this video. He wants to keep the bottle because I was putting raffia ribbon on it, wrapping it with that jute twine at the top, putting a rose on the top to give it as a gift, but he's keeping it. So I don't know if the rose, he likes the rose, so it might stay. So awesome, husband. But anyway, we're all done. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm using this round that I found at the Dollar Tree at Valentine's Day because I'm trying to use what I have. But to make this a true trash to treasure, if you really want to keep it that way, you can absolutely use cardboard cut in a circle and follow the video that I have out there called How to Make a Faux Farmhouse Wood Plank, or I think maybe it's just How to Make a Faux Wood Plank. I will put the video down below in my description box, but it is a tried and true method. I've shown it with a lot of different videos, even how to make just faux wood lids for my coffee cans. It's kind of the same principle, and you can do it that way. So I'm going to use the round because I'm trying to use what I have, like I said. So I'm just taking some pencil after I painted it with some chalk paint, and I'm just drawing the faux little ship lines. And this is just because, I don't know, sometimes I leave them all white, but for some reason with this one, I wanted that look of the lines. I just thought that looked cute. And I'm doing a little bit of dry brushing with the elephant gray paint from Apple Barrel Paint, just to distress it just a little bit. This DIY is a lot of fun. I've seen these before. It certainly isn't original. Like, I didn't think of this idea. I've seen them all over the place. You can buy them in the store. Oh, and I'm taking a little wet tissue there just to smear this. That's what I like to do to make it look a little older, like older wood. Just take a little wet tissue or a baby wipe, either one works, and you just smear the paint a little bit and then lightly dry brush over it again, and it just adds a little bit more of that authentic distressed wood look. But anyway, I have never made one of these, so I just thought it would be fun to use my turmeric ginger right there. You guys, that tastes so good, by the way. That is awesome stuff. But I go ahead and, you know, that bottle, believe it or not, is super thick plastic. I remember holding it thinking, wow, this almost looks like glass. Yes, this does look like glass. I could use this for a craft. Some plastic bottles, you can totally tell they're plastic. But this one, in real life, if you hold it, it's really thick plastic and it could pass for glass. So I'm taking some of the burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm wrapping it around. Again, you've probably seen similar crafts to this, but I don't have one and I want one. And the reason I wanted to make this is because my children gave me beautiful Mother Day flowers. They do every year. And every year I dry the bouquet upside down, and then I keep them for the whole year until the next year. And sometimes I keep them, you know, I'll make potpourri out of them, or I'll put them in a little bit of lace and hang them on the Christmas tree. It just depends. But I do try to keep my flowers because I'm sentimental like that. So now I'm just taking a little bit of the nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. I'm wrapping the top because we don't want to see that top. At least I don't want to see that top. You can leave that top if you want to. And because it is plastic, you can just glue it down. You just use a really strong, good hot glue. Even if it fell off, it wouldn't do any damage. It's just if you find plastic bottles that are super thick, like you can't bend them or push them in with your hand and they look like glass, make sure you save them for crafting. They are great substitutes for the glass mason jars. So now I'm taking a little bit of raffia. That's my raffia from Amazon that I love so much. If you're interested, it's down below in the description box. It comes in a set of 3. It comes in this color and then a really beautiful red and green. Definitely a very strong, nice raffia. Kind of, I've said it many times in videos, but it does perform more like a ribbon. It doesn't break, so you can pull it. Lots of fun. There's the flowers from my Mother's Day gift right there. They're all dried and still so beautiful. Raise your hand if you love dried flowers out there. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I have a thing for dried flowers. Sometimes I like them even more than I like fresh flowers. I just think they look very country. I like them. And it's a great way for me to remember the beautiful gift my kids give me every year and their love. And now I'm just going to take the raffia and just wrap it around the stem a little bit and tie a pretty bow. Cut these down so that they're not so long and tuck them in the jar. And then I'm going to make a pretty hanger for it. Now I made a raffia bow at the top there, and I was originally going to put it on the front of the jar, but I decided to go ahead and use it to cover the whole of the Dollar Tree round. I'm using some of the Amazon wood beads and threading it on the raffia, and we're just making a pretty hanger for this. I've really been into the wood beads lately. I just think they're so pretty. They were so cheap, so I bought 3 bags, and I really think they take the signs from looking just so to like, wow, that looks really, really pretty. So that's it. I'm using the Surebonder glue so it's on there nice and strong, and we're all done. And of course, I love this. I made this beautiful three-tiered, I don't know if it's a three-tiered tray or just a three-tiered shelf unit here for my daughter-in-law for her vanity. This is where she stores all her makeup now, and she kind of has that whole little like French country looking vanity with the oval mirror, so it goes perfect, the whole look. And she asked if I could make her like a matching container for her hair ribbons. So I thought, why not? I'll try to do that. So I took this container right here and gave it a coat of my homemade white chalk paint. The video link is down below in my description box if you're interested. And I didn't use 2 coats, I didn't need to. I just kind of put it on extra thick, or it was going on extra thick. You can see it right there in the camera. It was covering everything fine, so I just did 1 coat, and I went ahead and painted the whole thing, including the lid. Once everything was dry, I took the antiquing wax and I decided to go ahead and make the lid look like a faux wood. Now, as I'm giving it all its little accents and everything, it's actually bringing out that word enfamil even more, and I thought, oh no, that's not gonna do. So we're going to take care of that in a minute, you'll see. But for now, I'm just gonna concentrate on the side of the lid and the edge of the lid. I didn't realize I actually left that in the video. That's that moment when I looked at it and went, oh, no, that won't do. So I grabbed the lightweight spackling from the Dollar Tree. I actually add quite a bit of paint to this spackling to make it perform more like a creamy spackling because it's a little too dry and crumbly for me. You can do that. I mean, there's quite a bit. I would say I add probably anywhere from a 1/4 to 1/3 cup of paint in there, and it makes it go longer as well. You get almost 1.5 to double the amount of spackling, so that's a nice little money-saving tip. And I wasn't sure it was going to work on this lids, but I went ahead and I covered the center, and I'm just taking some water and a brush and smoothing it all out. But the lid didn't really have much bend to it. It's a pretty strong, solid lid. In fact, if you guys ever come across these baby containers from either friends, neighbors, or you just are in the grocery store, squeeze one or feel one. They are so strong. And I was pretty sure that the spackling would withstand the movement of somebody opening and closing the lid without cracking. So I went ahead and did the elephant gray and apple barrel paint, did a little dry brushing on the outside and the top of the lid, and now I'm taking, this is a mold that I made with some silicone molds. I've shown it in previous videos. I just squirt hot glue in there, and then it comes out. I just, trim off the little pieces that were hanging over the edges with my cuticle clipper from the Dollar Tree, and then we have these cute faux, like, I don't know, metal. I think they're normally supposed to be metal, but they're super cute for like a French country look if you're into that. They're just perfect for that, and it's super dirt cheap to make them with hot glue instead of the clay, and very, very easy to do. You can even put them in your oven, because the ones I bought, which are down below in the description box, are meant to go in the oven like with heat because they're 100% silicone. That's as far as I double check that when you order it, but that's what I understood when I ordered it. So I went ahead and did a little bit of the antique wax around the edge just to give it a little bit more character, and then I like to take a little bit of white paint and bring out the design and then just tap it with some of that iridescent fluorescent metallic paint that is in copper and make it look like there's a little bit of metal peeking out. And then I take a little bit more of the gray and a little bit more of the antiquing wax. I go around the edge, and here's what I was talking about. There's the cuticle clippers. Once you paint it, you can kind of see the strings that you missed, so just clip them off, no big deal. But we're all done and going on 2 weeks now of use, and the spackling is still holding strong. For my next project, I decided to use 3 salad dressing bottles, and I actually got these at Aldi's, and I'm starting off with painting them white. Now, I'm not too concerned about getting a super full coverage at the bottom half of the bottle because we're going to be covering them in a minute, but I will end up doing a second coat on the top half. Here's the Dollar Tree vinyl. I used it in a previous video. I had some left, and I thought, I think this will look really, really cute. I had a feeling, I was hoping that when I put these on, because they're shiny, that it would look like actual ceramic. Like it was, when you go into Hobby Lobby or Michael's, you'll find this buffalo check on bottles where it's actually part of the bottle. It's painted onto the ceramic glaze, and I was hoping that's what these would do, and sure enough they did. When you get all the wrinkles out, at first glance, they look just like a ceramic bottle. They look really expensive, but here's what I would do differently if I had to do it again, is I would take the bottles, I would do a second coat on the top half of the bottle, and then I would take it outside and use a gloss sealant so that the top part's really shiny, and then the whole thing I think would have, it still looks really, really good. But as I was studying it, I thought, you know, I don't have any, unfortunately, in gloss right now, but and my daughter-in-law, she took this, she loves it. So in fact, it's so cute. I gave it to her before I took a picture of it, so I asked her to send me a picture back, and she staged it in her little kitchen. It was really cute. But I thought, if I had to do it again, and if you guys do this project, I should mention that to you, that if you want the shine to go all the way up to make it look even more authentic, you might want to consider doing that before you stick the vinyl on. So now I'm just taking some leftover burlap that I have from a Dollar Tree wine bag that I got at Christmas time, and I glued it in half. I'm going to tie it with the jute twine, and then I'm just going to cut them on either end to kind of make them look like a flat bow. I just thought that would be kind of different. It's a new look that I've never done before, and it did. It turned up really cute. And now here's where I go in and I do a second coat on top of the bottles, because I realized when everything's said and done, it didn't look quite right. And I decided to use this cute little wooden box to sit them in. I had bought a basket for them originally from the Dollar Tree, but they were a little bit too big, and the wooden box ended up being so cute with the little feet and everything. It worked perfect. We're using the leftover dried flowers from my Mother's Day bouquet, and that's it. They're going to be all done here, and you're going to see that, you know, I usually stage my DIYs, but you'll actually see how they are sitting right today in the kitchen at my daughter-in-law's house, which I thought is super cute. I always have so much fun turning real trash to treasure. It's so rewarding, and it's good for the planet. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And as always, until the next one, breathe deep, fret not, and do things that make you happy.